Hey, what's happening? Thanks for joining me. Today we are going to check out Harpoon's, one of their 100 barrel series beers. This is Rich and Dan's Rye IPA. Much like a regular IPA, except in the grain bill they also put in flaked rye. So it adds rye typically can add an element of spiciness to a beer. It's something that I've talked about in past videos, and it's not like a hot sauce hot or anything spice like that. Just like if you're familiar with like a Belgian or something like that, how sometimes they'll have sort of spices brewed in with it. It just adds a little something different into the beer. This one comes in at 6.9% alcohol by volume, and these are limited availability. I don't know how long they're typically out for, but I'll see them on the shelves for maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and then the next style that they come up with will be released. So, without much more ado, let's get this into a glass. Alright, so pours, it's unfiltered, so it's got some haze to it. And it's kind of a murky kind of golden color. And it produced about a finger and a half of slightly off-white head, real tight looking creamy bubbles. Looks really nice. First thing I'm noticing on the nose is citrus. Definitely some grapefruit in there. Some light, sort of maybe almost orange. For the most part, there's a lot of citrus in there. You can tell there's a malt presence in there. It's not overwhelming in the nose by any means, but as far as when you're putting rye onto the label, there's nothing per se from the rye that you're, at least that I'm detecting. It's interesting. There's definitely up front you're getting the hops there. There's some of that citrus. I think it blends a little bit more with some sort of earthy kind of herbal hop flavors in there. And then it blends in with the malt, and the malt also has the rye presence in it. So there's a little bit of, if you think almost like rye bread, where it sort of has that sort of distinct kind of rye taste to it, there's a bit of that coming through in the malt and the finish. And it's nothing huge, it's not overwhelming by any means, and I'm certainly no expert on rye beers. I've had maybe a few. There was one brewed exclusively for Julio's store down in Mass by Smutty Nose, and I think it was some sort of an old ale or brown ale, an imperial brown, aged on rye whiskey soaked oak chips. Awesome beer. This is, it's got the rye, it's a completely different monster right here. But yeah, overall it's a pretty easy drinking beer at only, just under 7%. It's definitely something different that you can do with an IPA, with the various things you can do, whether you're going to barrel age it, the different hops you're going to put into it, malt styles. If you're a fan of IPAs, this could be worth seeking out if you see it in there. It's not terribly expensive. It's like, maybe $6 a bottle. So overall, I think it's a decent beer. It's not anything that's wowing me by any means, but it's a solid beer. If someone offered me this, I'd be more than happy to be drinking it. You know, I'm not trying to make it seem like this just totally sucks, but you know, because it doesn't. It's a great beer, and you know, if you're, like I said, if you're looking for something new to try, something sort of to just expand your palate in a genre a little bit, this is the Harpoon Rich and Dan's Rye IPA. Thanks for watching. Cheers.